Hello, it's Claire Yule from Sussex Physio Pilates. This video, produced with Allergy Therapeutics, is aimed at those of you that are spending your day standing and lifting. So we're really going to be focused on release and stretch in this video, with some strength thrown in as well. So first of all, we're going to start in sitting. Now I'm sitting on a sitting block here, which is just under my tailbone, but if you wanted to sit in a chair, that's absolutely fine as well. So sit however you're comfortable. And we're going to start by lengthening up from the back of your head. So imagining that you've got a balloon at the back of your head, lengthening your spine. And think about your collarbones, just widening your collarbones and lengthening the back of your neck again, so that your jaw's just heavy in this sitting position. And then we're going to start by picking your shoulders up and rolling them backwards. Now if there's lots of crunching and creaking, that's absolutely normal. Minor crunching and creaking as we go. So just rolling the shoulders back a few times. And then we're going to focus on just keeping those shoulder blades back and down. And we're going to go into our mermaid. So as you're sitting, I want you just to lift up from the side of your ribs and then drop your shoulder blades down, but keep your ribs lifted. We're going to engage your Pilates core up very gently. And then we're going to take a breath in, bring your left hand up, shoulder blade is heavy. And as we breathe out, we're going to go over to the side. We're going to breathe in, come back, and arm down. Now if it's helpful, you can imagine that you've got something like a parrot sitting on your shoulder that you don't want to squash. So I'm going to breathing up with my right arm now, shoulder blade down, and then over to the left to stretch. Breathing back up and down. Wide collarbones, breathing up and over to the right. Breathing up right side, and we bend over to the left. And the last one with this right arm, breathing up, shoulder blade is heavy. Breath out as we go over to the left. And breathing back and down. And again, rolling those shoulder blades back. Now we're going to do our spine twist exercise. So that was side movement. Now we're going to really work on moving your spine in a rotated position. So I'm going to put my fingers and thumbs together, thumbs to the breastbone, fingertips under your chin. This just makes sure that you don't cheat, because all of our bodies want to do that. So long back of neck, engaging the core in. I'm going to take a breath in there. And as I breathe out, I'm going to turn all of me to the side. Breathing back into the middle. And breathe out now to the other side, to the left. Breathing back into the middle. So try if you can to keep your chin on your fingertips and the tips of your thumbs to the breastbone, because it really makes you aware of what your mid-back is doing. Otherwise our head wants to kind of race ahead. Breathing back to the middle and breathe out to the side. Breathing back to the middle, shoulder blades down. Lovely. One more. And back to the middle, and a little shoulder roll there. Now from this sitting position, I just want you to engage your core and tuck under your tailbone, kind of like a seated cat stretch. Just feeling the stretch in your low back there, and then lifting up from the breastbone again. Lifting up nice and slowly. And then engaging your core and drawing in, almost like you've been punched in the stomach. Sorry, nasty analogy there. Rolling the shoulders forwards and engaging back up and relaxing your shoulder blades down. So we're going to come align our sides now. So if you have got a pillow or a block. We're going to put that underneath your head pad, but a cushion from the sofa instead of those two there is fine as well. And we're going to come and lie down. Let's start on our left side with both arms out in front. So really dropping your shoulder blades down, long back of neck. Now I've got my hips stacked and my feet together. And we're going to do the arm opening exercise. So again, it's more mid-back rotation. I'm going to take a breath up with my top hand. I'm going to follow it with my eyes. And as I breathe out, I'm going to turn from the breastbone. I'm going to turn back, keeping the hips level, knees pressed together. Breath in when you get there. And as you breathe out, drop the shoulder blade down, engage the core, and we come back. Okay, let's do a few more of those. So again, breath in, arm up to ceiling. Keeping the angle now between the arm and the body, and it's all the work of the body now as I breathe out and rotate my body back, looking at the ceiling, looking at my hand, breath into the ribs. Drop the shoulder down, engage the core and come back round. Good. Breath in up. Breath out, turn the body, breath into those ribs. Shoulder blade down and around. Good, good. We're going to do one more. Breath in up to the ceiling. Breath out, turn. Keep your eyes on your hand. Breath in. And shoulder blade back and down, and we come back. So just mention a common mistake with that exercise is that people go too far back with the arm and they can overstretch and pull their shoulder. So a nice analogy for that one is to imagine that you're holding a beach ball between your body with your arm so that you don't drop the beach ball by going back too far. Okay, we're going to come into clam now. So I need a very slightly smaller cushion, and I'm going to put my underneath arm, my left arm long, in between my head and my underneath arm. Now with my feet in this position, I'm just going to raise both feet up so they stay together and then tuck under your tailbone. Okay, so we're going to avoid rolling backwards. If anything, roll forwards with the clam. Shoulder blade down. Imagine you've got your hand on something very, very soft that you don't want to squash. And as I take a breath into my tummy, I'm going to breathe out, draw up that deep core and raise my top knee. So this is strengthening for our side glutes, really important for standing. Breathing down and breathe out up. Breathing out as you're lifting up the knee, working that core as you're lifting up, breathing in, down. Now you may find that the side you're lying on, you can feel that working too. That's absolutely fine. In fact, that's a good thing. So you're working your underneath glute as well to really help stabilize you. Now the temptation here is to roll back, but keep roll forwards. And we're going to do these until you again feel that fatigue. So let's count down from 3, 2, making this one the last one. But if you've still got more in your tank, then just pause and carry on until you really feel that burn, that tiredness there. And then just let both feet come down and let your top knee just come forwards and give that muscle a bit of a rub. Okie doke. So we're then going to carry on strengthening these side glute muscles. We're going to do an exercise called side kick, which is very much about core control as well. So lengthening my top leg long, engaging up your core, just really imagining that your whole body is in line, so my foot's in line with my underneath hand, core drawn up. And we're going to move here from the pivot point of the hip. So I'm going to take a breath in to prepare, and as I breathe out, I'm drawing up my core and I'm going to hinge forwards from that top hip. Breathing, coming back, flexing my foot to come back. Breathe out, kicking forwards. Breathe in, coming back. Breathe out, kicking forwards. Breathe in, coming back. So you may want to do just a very small range first of all, or you might want to give a bit of a challenge to your hamstring length as well with kicking further, as long as you're really feeling that you're keeping your low back relatively still. So we're working this core to control your low back. If you can, if you want to, you can pop your hand on the low back to find out what's going on there. You don't want a big arch as you're going backwards, or a big curve as you're kicking forwards. And counting down now. 4, 3, 2, and the last one. And then again, let that leg rest forwards. Give that leg a little bit of a rub there. And we're going to bring the heel towards the bottom for a nice quad stretch. So when you're doing this, just engage your core up, tuck your tailbone under, then hold on to your foot and see if you can gently bring your top knee back in line with your bottom knee. And you can also use it as a nice way of opening out your upper body there, opening out your pecs. Holding that stretch for a good 30 seconds. And then going to our other side. Well done. So we're going to start off again with our arm opening. So this is where we need slightly bigger underneath your head. Okie doke. So having both arms forwards again on our right side now. Or left if you did right side first. Shoulders down, engaging your core. Just imagine you've got your feet against a wall that your head and your mid-back against. Okay, mid-back movement here. So we're going to take a breath in with that left arm as it comes up to the ceiling, and breathe out. Remember, it's all about the body turning now. Breath in when you can't go anymore, and breath out, shoulder blade come down and around. Come a little bit more forwards. Breath into the ceiling, looking at that hand, knees together. Breath out, turn your body, breath in there, and breath out, down and around, drawing in your core to come back. Breath in up to the ceiling, breath out, turn, engage in your core, and as you come back down and around, good. Breath in up, breath out, turn. Last one now, breath in up, keeping that angle, arm to body the same, holding onto that beach ball. Breath out, turn, breath in into the ribs, engage in the core as you come back down and around. Fabulous. Okay, on to our glute strengthening. So just going to take that larger block out the way, underneath arm long now. We're going to start off with our clam. So remember, we're going to roll forwards from the hips slightly, tailbone under. We're going to raise both feet up, shoulder blades down, breath in. And as you breathe out, engage your core up and top knee comes up. Good, that's one done. Breathing down. Breath out, drawing up the core, knees raised. Good. Focusing on wide collarbones. want to be feeling this in your glutes. If you're feeling it all at the very front of the hip, then just try rolling forwards a little bit more. We're all individual. Some people need to roll forwards quite significantly more than others. So you want to be feeling it in the back of the buttock, back and side, not the front of your hip flexor. Breathing out as you come up, breathing in as you come down. Again, if you're feeling it in the underneath hip, you may feel that sooner this time because we've already done the other side. So that's fine, don't worry, it's all getting you stronger. And we're looking for that point of fatigue. So I'm going to count down again from 3, 2, but if you've got more in your tank, then please keep going. 1, and letting that top knee come forwards and just giving that muscle a bit of a rub, a bit of a stretch. Okie dokie. So we're going to go with our top leg long now for side kick. So lengthening the leg long, tucking out under the tailbone. Remember, we're working from the pivot point of the hip here, keeping almost like you've got a suit of armour on, keeping your low back and your rib cage nice and steady. Breathe in to prepare and breath out as you're kicking forwards. Breathing, come back. Breath out, kicking forwards. Breathing, come back. So you can either have your hand forwards or on your hip, or checking your low back. Breathing forwards. Sorry, no, breathe out, forwards. Breathing back. As with all these exercises, your breathing may work better the other way. So always let your body be your guide, and if you feel that you can get a better connection with reversing the breathing, then do. And let's count down now. 4, 3, 2, and wonderful. Well done. Let that knee come forwards and just let your glute have a little bit of a rub. And then we're going to come into that glute stretch again. Your quad stretch, sorry. So catching hold of your top foot, keeping the knee level, don't letting the knee drop down. And then gently bringing that knee back, heel towards bottom. So you're feeling the stretch on the front of your thigh. Keeping the tailbone tucked under, so we're not arching the low back too much. And we're going to hold that there for a few more seconds. And then bring the knee forwards to let that relax. Well done. And then come and push yourself up to sitting. Okie dokie. So we're going to do just a little bit on our backs, and then we're going to get a rolled towel. So I've just got a large bath sheet here, and I've made it into a roll with a couple of elastic bands. So if you wanted to pause the video and go and grab yourself a bath sheet with a couple of elastic bands, if you have a foam roller, you can also use that. But this also does the job. Maybe not quite as well as the roller, but it does the job. Okie dokie. So we're just going to prep our backs for lying on the roller or on the rolled towel. So we're going to come back down onto your back there. And we're just going to start by just doing some pelvic tilts. So just letting gently the tailbone tilt up and then relax down. Just letting that low back have some movement. And then taking this into our shoulder bridge. So we take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we engage up the core, tailbone under, and then we're peeling up bone by bone into your shoulder bridge there. Breath in at the top, breath out slowly down. Breath out coming up. Slowly down. Breath out coming up. Breath in, hold. And breath out down. So you can either do with the hold, or you can just breathe in and come straight back down. One more with a hold, breath in, hold, and breath out slowly down. And then we're going to really work on releasing around our hips now. So I'm going to take my feet wide to the edges of the mat. So now my feet are wider than my hips. Arms relaxed to the side, and I'm going to let both knees drop down to the left. So I'm going to feel a different kind of stretch in each of my hips. Holding that for a couple of breaths. And then engaging your core to bring your knees back in. And then just letting them both drop down to the right side. Again, this may feel different. We're very much not symmetrical beings. So my right knee's going down to the right, my left knee's falling inwards down to the right. Breath in there. Couple of breaths. Engage your core to bring yourself back in. Okie dokie, and then I'm going to go again to the left. Both knees fall into the left and look into the right. Engage your core up and coming back in. And then last one to the right. Feeling that stretch of the hip, of the low back perhaps. And breathe out, drawing back in after those couple of breaths. And then bringing my feet together now and knees together, and we're going to go over our hip twist again. So with your core drawn up, feet together so the top foot stays on the bottom foot. I'm breathing in and dropping my knees to the left and my head to the right. And as you breathe out, engage that core up as you bring everything back in. And breathe in again, knees to the right, head to the left. Engaging up as you come back in. Breathe in, knees to the left, head to the right. Engage in your core as you come back. Engaging as you come back from that right side. And then just a little bit of more traditional Pilates. Come in with our feet hip distance apart. Nice long back of your neck, wide collarbones, drawing in your core, taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, left knee to the side, keeping the right knee where it is, and an invisible grape held under the right side of the back. Breathe in to bring that left knee back in, and breathe out, right knee to the side. So we're really working on our core, staying nice and stable now. Breathe in to come back in. Breathe out to go out to the side. Making sure my low back's not lifting. Coming back up. Taking this to a one leg stretch. So I'm going to breathe in and come into a single tabletop, and as I breathe out, I'm stretching away without my low back arching. Breathe in, come back, and fold down. Breathe in, knee above hip, Breathe out, stretching away, really drawing that core down at this point. Breathe in back and back down. Breathing up and breath out, stretching away. Breathing back and down. Breathing up, stretch away. We're going to do one more each side after this, and then we're going to come and lie on our rolled towel. Breathing up, stretch away. Breathing back and down. Last one, left side. Breathing up, breath out, stretching away, but really drawing that core down. Breathing back and down. So let's just hug our knees into chest, roll, let everything release, relax. Give your feet a little bit of a wiggle. And then roll over onto your side when you're ready and push up so that you can go and grab your rolled towel. Okie dokie. So we're going to come and bring that down on your mat. Now I'm going to make sure that you've got a big enough cushion so that you don't have to have your head on the rolled towel. So it's kind of the same height. And then you're going to pop your bottom and then roll back so that it's underneath your spine. Now it should be relatively comfortable, so if you're really uncomfortable, then you can just do these exercises off the mat. Okay, so just take a moment there just to get comfy, just have a little wiggle, and now you should feel the whole point of this is that it's stretching the front of your chest. There. So engage your core gently so that you feel that you're not really rocking that much. Feet hip distance, don't let your feet go too wide. And then we're going to bring the arms up to the ceiling, nod the chin down. Imagine that you're holding a great big beach ball. We're going to breathe in and take that ball up towards the ceiling, and as you breathe out, I want you to draw the shoulder blades around your towel or roller if you're using. Breathe in, up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, draw that ball back down towards you. Now you notice elbows stay relatively straight. Don't be tempted to bend your elbows at this point. We really want to focus on the movement being around those shoulder blades. Breathing up to the ceiling. Breathe out, roll back down. Draw back down, sorry. Last one. Hands up to the ceiling with an in-breath. Breath out, draw the shoulder blades back down. Now keep them drawn down there. Engage your core, so almost like you've got a pair of braces on the bottom of your rib cage and the top of your hips. It's not being stretched. And now take both arms overhead and around in semicircles. So we're breathing out and bringing the arms back and around. Breathe in, both arms go overhead without letting the rib cage stretch up. Keep it drawn down and down and around. So we're really feeling that we're stretching our shoulders, mobilizing these shoulder joints. Keep your eyes as well just trained on the same piece of ceiling if you can. Long back of neck. Imagine you're holding an orange or a peach underneath your chin. 2 more arm circles. Now this exercise is actually called double leg stretch level 1. It's a long story. And last one, last nice big arm circle. Bringing the arms back up. And now as you breathe out, I want you to imagine you're doing cactus arms. So the arms are going out to the side and breathing back up. And then you're pulling those arms down and then let them extend out. So we're really finding that stretch through your pecs. I'm a little bit short on space here on my right, but have both arms out nice and wide if you can to really stretch across the front of your chest. Keep the tailbone under. Close your eyes if you can and just have a moment of feeling that lovely, delicious stretch across the front of your chest. If your hands start feeling a bit tingly or a bit numb, that's pretty common. It just means that these nerves are a bit tight, the muscles are a bit tight, in which case you can bring your hands in towards your body a little bit more. Couple more breaths. And then bring your hands back to your tummy. And we're going to gently roll off the towel or your roller and then move that out the way. Good. Now what's really nice is just to spend a moment after you've been on a rolled towel or a foam roller, and just come and lie down, just let your legs stretch out, arms to the side, chin down, and just feel the broadness of your back and how much that you've stretched out. So just do a quick body scan and just see how those shoulders and that mid-back feels. And again, if you wanted to pause the video and just have 5-10 minutes of breath here, just breathing into your tummy, that'll be a good thing to do. But we're just going to finish now with coming into stretching for our hip flexors. So bringing the legs up, rolling onto your side, engaging your core to push up again. And we're going to come into high kneeling. Okie dokie, so just take a moment as you come into kneeling. If you need to get something underneath your knees, a cushion or something to pad out your knees, then please do. And then tuck in under your tailbone, letting the front of your pelvis lift up. Again, using that analogy of having braces on to really lift up the front of your hips. This can be a big stretch for a lot of us, particularly if we're working in standing. So perhaps just spending a couple of minutes here, just breathing into the front of the hips. But when you're ready, we're going to take the left foot forwards. Again, tuck under the tailbone. So we're going to be stretching our right hip flexor here. You probably feel it already. Keeping the body nice and tall, nice and upright, tailbone under. Then just lunging forwards. But again, keeping the body upright and don't lean forwards. So we're feeling that stretch in the hip. And then just keep your breath quite deep into that side of the hip. And for a bit of extra stretch, you can take your right arm up, shoulder blade down. Remember our mermaid, we didn't sit in. And then just leaning over to the side. Now I've just got my left arm resting on my left leg, pushing in a little bit for stability as I'm stretching this right side, right hip flexor, right side of my back, and then coming back. Lovely. And then pushing back from that left leg, and we're going to swap sides. So bringing the right leg forwards, again lift up from the ribs, drop from the shoulders, tailbone under, feeling that stretch already, perhaps in the left hip flexor. Keeping tucked under and just lunging forwards until you feel that stretch. Now when we are doing a stretch, we want to be holding about 60% of what we feel we could stretch. Never stretch to 100%, because then it can really make our body recoil from that and we can't hold 100%. Breathing into the side, that left hip flexor. Perhaps lunging forwards a tiny bit more if we feel it release, but not at the expense of arching the back. And then bringing your left arm up, perhaps you're fine without, and over to the side. And again, I can stabilize by pushing my right arm down into my right leg. Now stretching the hip flexors is really important if you've got a job where you're standing and lifting. And then coming back down with that left arm, pushing back from that right foot. and we're going to finish with a pigeon stretch. So I'm going to come into all fours, and then I'm going to bring my right knee in between my hands, take my foot out to the left, and then just shuffle down onto elbows, or perhaps it was enough for you on hands. So just really listen to your body here. But you're going to feel that stretch in the right buttock. And if this doesn't suit you and you want to do a different buttock stretch, then please do, just listen to your body. But perhaps you can do a gentle roll if you're comfortable in this pigeon, just to work into that right buttock. Holding that for a few more seconds. And if you do find this okay, then this is a really nice stretch to hold a glute stretch for a longer period of time. So if you wanted to stay here for 3-4 minutes, then this is a good position to hold a glute stretch in. Engaging the core, pushing back with both hands to bring you back up. And bringing the left knee now in between your hands, kicking the foot out to the right. Perhaps bringing the right knee back a little bit. And just see if you're comfortable to come down to deepen the stretch to your elbows. Relaxing those shoulders, long back of neck. Last breath. Grounding your hands, pushing back up, bringing that leg back, and then just tucking your toes under, bringing your bottom back, grounding your hands, and coming up into a downward dog, just so we don't forget our hamstrings here. Just having a little walk of the dog, just letting the heels rise and fall in a reciprocal fashion. And then bringing the knees back down. Well done.